this is what 10 to 20,000 youngsters are doing each weekend, BMX racing. There's about 1 million of them who've got BMX bikes in Britain, and the new bikes account for 1/3 of all bike sales, so it really is a very fast developing sport. Aficionados may be able to spot Andy Ruffell, Pete Middleton and Craig Schofield, 3 of the rising stars of this new sport. Good morning to you, gentlemen.
Morning.
How long have you been BMX riding?
Well, nearly 4 years now.
And this is really a full-time sport for you now, is it?
Yes, definitely, yes. Spend most of my time doing it.
How did you get into it in the first place?
Well, like every kid, really. I mean, everybody rides a bike, and I used to ride, you know, grifters and stuff like that. And I see a BMX bike in the shop and thought, right, I've got to have it. So,
explain the theory of the race to me. How long do they last and what have you got to do?
Well, the basic idea is you've got a track like this, you're on the start with 7 other riders. And the idea is to get over the finish line in first place.
Now, a lot of budding BMX riders will be watching this morning. What's the difference between competing and winning?
Well, it takes a lot of dedication. You have to spend a lot of time training, and it's mental attitude, fitness and skill. So it takes 3 things.
I noticed that a lot of the lads out here going around this morning are leaping up in the air, but you kept quite close to the ground. Is that on purpose?
Yes, definitely. In a race, when you're in the air, you're losing speed. The more speed you lose, the less chance you got of winning. So you've got to be on the floor all the time, get over the line first.
There we are. There's a tip. You might win in future if you follow that. Tell me, how much training do you do?
Usually about 2 to 3 hours a day, if I can fit it in time.
What sort of training do you do in all?
Usually starts. We're at the start of the race, the gate drops, just getting that, so time it perfectly.
Is that the most important part?
Generally, the most important part of the race is the start, so you can get into the first corner first, obviously.
Is there much changing of position when you're actually during the race?
Not so much in the first and second and third, but more of the bunch at the back. It's if you've got the front line, you can choose your lines, and you have to, the people behind have to take what's there.
Now, you're all covered in safety gear, I'm glad to see, but is it a dangerous sport?
It's not really dangerous. It could be if you had a bad fall, but you don't often get bad falls.
What would be the maximum speed you get up to on a circuit like this?
Depending on the length of the straights and stuff and how steep a hill we're racing, then you could get up to 25, 30 miles an hour on a bike.
So you're never really going to do yourself a mischief if you're sensible?
Oh no, all sensible riders will always wear safety gear, helmet, gloves, long sleeves, long trousers. That's the most important thing.
It's as I said before, a big business now, BMX riding, and in the United States people are making a very, very large amount of money from doing it. And there are professional riders like you, Andy. Is there a living to be made out of BMX?
Yes, you know, for the top level of riders, there are about, you know, 5 or 6 riders now that are actually making their living from BMX riding.
Are they making tens of thousands of pounds?
Not all of them, no. You know, there is a good living.
Some of them are making tens of thousands of pounds.
I'm quite comfortable, I'm quite comfortable.
But if there are lads watching, or young girls watching, who really fancy doing this as a living, it's worth following, is it?
For sure, yes. I know a lot of kids who want to get into it and will make a living eventually, if they're good enough.
This is only one half of BMX riding, of course, freestyling. That's where you sort of leap through the air and all this. That is what we're going to be coming back and looking at a bit later in the programme.
If you've got the front line, you can choose your lines, and you have to, the people behind have to take what's there.